or a 0 if you have different thoughts. I'd love to hear your opinions. Until next time, take care and stay happy. It's such a powerful question. What would you do if you couldn't take care of yourself anymore? The idea of losing independence can be daunting. But as you've pointed out, a nursing home isn't the only solution, and for many people it's not even the best option. It's all about finding a path that suits you and maintains your dignity, purpose, and joy. There are countless creative alternatives today. One option is aging in place, where people make adjustments in their current homes to accommodate their needs. Whether it's installing ramps, getting in-home care, or utilizing technology like medical alert systems. This allows them to stay connected to their community, maintain their routine, and keep their independence while having support when needed. Another interesting option that's growing in popularity is intergenerational living. Seniors live with younger generations, like families or roommates, which provides companionship, a sense of community, and mutual support. Plus, it can help with things like transportation or even meal preparation, while giving everyone involved the chance to learn from each other and share experiences. For some, embracing technology is a game changer. From telemedicine to smart home devices that monitor health, older adults can stay connected and maintain a high level of independence without ever leaving their homes. Your video idea reminds me that when aging starts to affect your ability to care for yourself, it doesn't have to mean a one-size-fits-all solution like a nursing home. There's so much potential for creative solutions that can allow someone to live life on their own terms, while still being supported in meaningful ways. Do you know anyone who's embraced an alternative like this, or would you consider these options for yourself? 1. Grandpa Joe's story is such a powerful reminder of the importance of maintaining autonomy and living life on our own terms. It's easy to think that a nursing home is the only choice when aging becomes more challenging. But Joe's decision to stay in his familiar home with a bit of extra help is proof that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. By choosing to stay active, whether it's his morning walks or tending to his garden, he's not just holding on to physical activity, he's preserving his sense of purpose and connection to the community. The support from family, a home care worker, or even neighbors can make all the difference in maintaining that independence. It's not just about age, it's about how you want to age. Grandpa Joe is an example of someone finding ways to adapt and thrive, showing that a little support can go a long way. His story really challenges us to think about what we truly need to feel happy, fulfilled, and independent as we grow older, and it's encouraging to see how creative solutions can give us the best of both worlds. Do you think you would make the same decision as Grandpa Joe if you were in his shoes? Or do you think you would want more structure or assistance? Certainly. Here's the story, refined in a more conversational style. Quote, blank, underscore, blank, story 2. The surprising move of a retired teacher. Meet Mrs. Hargrove, a retired teacher in her 70s who spent decades shaping young minds in the classroom. When it came time to think about her future, she didn't want to follow the path many of her peers had taken, moving into a nursing home. Instead, she made a bold decision. She chose to move to a small, vibrant community of retirees. It wasn't what she had imagined, but it turned out to be exactly what she needed. First, her family was worried. They didn't quite understand why she wanted to leave the comfort of her familiar neighborhood for something entirely new. But within a few months, Mrs. Hargrove's decision turned out to be one of the best choices she had ever made. Not only did she find a group of like-minded people who shared her interests, but she quickly became an active member of the community. She even started teaching knitting classes, something she had always loved but never had the time for while working full-time. Teaching her fellow residents brought a renewed sense of purpose and energy to her life. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. Mrs. Hargrove's story teaches us an important lesson. Finding new communities can bring fresh energy and purpose into your life. As we age, it's tempting to retreat or settle. But Mrs. Hargrove shows us that surrounding yourself with people who share your passions can help you keep growing. Instead of isolating yourself or opting for a nursing home, look for places where you can connect, contribute, and build meaningful relationships. It's never too late to find a community that brings joy, support, and meaning into your life. Mrs. Hargrove found hers, and now she's living proof that the best years of your life can still be ahead. Story 3. The adventurer in his 90s. Let me introduce you to Mr. Thompson, a 92-year-old who's anything but slowing down. While most people his age might be content with a quiet life at home, Mr. Thompson decided that wasn't for him. Instead, he chose to spend his golden years as an adventurer, traveling the world with his daughter. Whether it was wandering the streets of Paris, hiking through the Italian countryside, or exploring ancient ruins in Greece, Mr. Thompson embraced every opportunity to see the world and experience new things. And what's even more inspiring is how he did it. He didn't opt for luxurious cruises or guided tours. He chose a more authentic way to travel. Staying in small apartments and hotels, he immersed himself in local cultures and experienced life like a true wanderer. These weren't just trips to check off a bucket list. They were real-life adventures he had always dreamed of but didn't have time for when he was younger. Now at 92, he's making those dreams come true, proving that age is no barrier to living fully. Mr. Thompson's story teaches us a powerful lesson. Age is just a number. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to give up on adventure or new experiences. In fact, many people find that their later years offer more freedom and flexibility to explore the world in ways they never could before. Mr. Thompson shows us that it's never too late to seek excitement, challenge yourself, and create lasting memories. Whether you're 92 or 32, there's always room for more adventures, if you're willing to take that first step. Story 4. The Tech-Savvy Grandma. Let me introduce you to Grandma Ruth, an inspiring woman in her 80s who refused to let age dictate her independence. While she was no longer able to care for herself fully, she had no intention of moving into a nursing home. Instead, Grandma Ruth embraced technology in a way that many people her age might find intimidating. She decided that if she was going to stay in her own home, she would need to adapt. And that's exactly what she did. With a little help from her grandchildren, Grandma Ruth learned how to use smartphones, tablets, and even smart home devices to make her life easier. She set up a voice-controlled system to adjust the lights, lock the doors, and even control the thermostat. When she needed help, she could easily call family members or doctors with just the touch of a button. But the real game changer was how technology helped her stay connected with her loved ones. Grandma Ruth used video calls to chat with family, watch her great-grandchildren grow up virtually, and even participate in family game nights from her living room. Grandma Ruth's story teaches us an important lesson. Technology can be incredibly empowering. Instead of letting age limit her independence, she used the tools at her disposal to maintain control over her life and keep her relationships strong. She showed us that no matter how old you are, technology can be a bridge to the world around you, allowing you to stay engaged, active, and independent. So don't be afraid to embrace technology. It could be the key to living on your own terms, no matter your age. Story 5. The Gardener Who Never Stopped Growing. Let's talk about Mr. Clark, a passionate gardener who, at 79, was facing a reality many of us don't want to accept. His body just couldn't keep up with the demands of his once sprawling garden. For years, he had cultivated an expansive space filled with flowers, vegetables, and trees, and it was his pride and joy. But as the years passed, the physical labor became more than he could handle, and his family worried that he might have to give up his beloved hobby altogether. They assumed that with his health declining, he'd have to let go of the garden. But Mr. Clark had other plans. Instead of abandoning gardening, he chose to downsize. He transformed his large garden into a smaller, more manageable space, focusing on plants that were easier to care for and better suited to his current abilities. His new garden was no less beautiful, just more sustainable. With fewer plants to tend to, he found peace in the simplicity of his work, and his small garden continued to bring him joy and a sense of accomplishment. His family was amazed when they saw how much he thrived with this new approach. Mr. Clark's story reminds us that simplicity can be just as fulfilling. Aging doesn't mean you have to give up what you love. It's about adapting and finding new ways to enjoy the things that bring you joy. Whether it's gardening, painting, or any other hobby, it's possible to continue pursuing your passions without overexerting yourself. By embracing a simpler, more manageable version of his garden, Mr. Clark found that sometimes less really is more, and that aging doesn't mean giving up. It just means adapting to a new chapter in life. Story 6. The Family Legacy. Let me tell you about Mildred, an 84-year-old woman who made a decision many people might find surprising. She chose to stay in the house where she had lived for over 50 years. This wasn't just any house. It was the home where she raised her children, hosted family gatherings, and built a lifetime of memories. Despite her age and the challenges that came with it, Mildred couldn't imagine leaving the place that had been the heart of her family for so long. Her children suggested a nursing home, but Mildred wasn't ready to say goodbye to the familiar comfort of her home. Instead of moving to a nursing home, she found a way to make it work. She arranged for family members to check on her regularly, ensuring she had the support she needed without having to leave her beloved home. Whether it was a weekly visit from her daughter or her grandchildren stopping by after school, Mildred was able to maintain the connections that meant so much to her. The walls of her home were filled with generations of memories, and it gave her a sense of security and continuity that no nursing home could provide. Mildred's story teaches us an important lesson. Home is where the heart is. Sometimes the best place for you as you age isn't somewhere new or unfamiliar, but right where you've spent your life, surrounded by the memories and comforts that make you feel safe and loved. Aging doesn't always mean you need to leave the place where your life story has unfolded. For Mildred, staying home was more than just a decision. It was a way to preserve her family's legacy and maintain the sense of belonging that had always been there. It's a beautiful reminder that the right place for you in your later years might just be the place that's been home all along. As we've seen through these 6 incredible stories, aging doesn't mean giving up on the things that bring us joy, independence, or purpose. Whether it's adapting your lifestyle, embracing new technology, or staying connected with loved ones, there are countless ways to live life on your own terms, no matter your age. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you can relate to any of these stories or have your own experiences to share, drop a 9 or 0 in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more inspiring content. Until next time, take care and keep living your best life.